Recording in progress.
Acting Chairwoman Sims.
Here.
Alderman Lockmiller.
Here.
Alderwoman Harder.
Here.
3 of 4 members are present, so we have a quorum.
Thank you. Item 2 on the agenda is approval of the agenda. Does anyone have any amendments or changes to be made? Any objection to standing by acclamation? All right, it'll be approved. Item 3A is citizen comments. Do we have anyone in the gallery, physically present or online, that would like to make a comment to the committee? If so, please come forward, state your name and address, and you'll be given, I think, 3 minutes.
Now or at the end of the meeting, either one? I'll do it. Okay.
So, my name is Lenise Cummings Vaughn. I live at 8927 Litzinger. I wrote an email to my alderman regarding the parking and traffic on High School Drive in front of McGrath. I live there's an alley that there are houses that have to exit onto that street. We had spoken about this previously, and thankfully you all put a no parking on the street to the south and left the north open. Unfortunately, people do not abide by that no parking sign. There are 2 signs, but they don't reach all the way to where the exit entrance of the alley is. So from the last sign to the alley, people feel is a parking zone. So they still park there. Sometimes somebody still parks in the back of that car, and I've never seen anybody receive a ticket or anything. I've actually asked a person, like, when they've parked and I'm coming in and I can't see, excuse me, that's a no parking zone. They're like, yes, it is. It's behind the sign, not in front of the sign. So, the sight lines are really just very poor, even if on the north side of that street coming from the alley the cars park right up until, like, right on the edge of the alley. It's really past the curb there. And people do not stop. They do not slow down. If anything, they speed up. It's actually pretty scary. My neighbor has spoken to McGrath, and there really hasn't been any change. So I'm just kind of appealing to you all to look into it. Thank you.
Is there anyone else, either online or, I'm not seeing anyone else?
No one else online.
Okay, there'll be, I believe, an additional comment at the end of the meeting as well. Item 4 on the agenda is the report of the committee chair and alderman. Lefko's absent. I have no report. Alderman Lockmiller.
Yes, to the comment, Lenise, we will be taking this subject up later on in the meeting.
Alderman Harder.
No report.
I have no report. 5A is the city administrator report. Nothing for that. Item 6A, item 6 on the agenda is the department reports. 6A is the police department.
Good evening. I'd like to go quickly. I'll go through the crime report. We got other things on the police department's report we wanted to get to, but regarding crime, there has been a slight uptick in the last month of car crime. So I was going to cover a couple of these incidents. 2 of them occurred in our neighborhoods. One on Moritz on the 3rd of February. Interesting about that particular incident was it was a group of people that were breaking into a car, and they were seen on a video through a Ring video, and they took the time to go up and spray the camera before they actually did what they were going to do. So we haven't seen that one before. It was kind of interesting spin on these things. That happened on February 3rd. We also had 2 incidents. These occurred in our garages. 8340 Eager Road was a theft from a motor vehicle at Planet Fitness, and then we had one on Deerberg's lot on February 9th. So a little bit of an uptick. The one that was probably most concerning for us was on the 18th of February. We had back-to-back incidents on Swan and Parkside where they were trying to steal a Hyundai vehicle the old-fashioned way, breaking down the column and stealing it like they were last year. Neither car was able to be stolen. They were both attempts. But that's the first time we've seen the Hyundai attempted steals in quite a while in Brentwood. The really, other than in February, we had our usual retail-style crime. Other than that, there wasn't anything that was of usual. The traffic update, currently mainly led by Officer London Brown. The police department for this calendar year is at 230 citations and a little over 200 warnings. So the requests of our officers to do some stronger traffic enforcement's going on. You probably see them in the neighborhoods a little more than you were. London's really focused on the areas in town that we get complaints on. And also, he's been hitting some of the major thoroughfares for speeding tickets. Update on our hiring. We hired Officer Mahana came on with us about a week ago, and we were down one more. We just got notified by Tangela today that we have a commitment for a second officer that will fill all of our openings. So he will start on March 10th. So as we speak, if that goes well in hiring, onboarding, we will be back to full staff on March 10th. So it's been quite a while since we've been had a full contingent of officers. On a flock report, I shared with you at the last meeting, we had 199 flock hits in 2024. At this point into 2025, we're at 19 flock hits. Those flock cameras continue to be a very good investigative tool and allow our officers to alert the vehicles that we need to be paying attention to. Just yesterday, they found a stolen vehicle on a flock camera that was probably in our retail area stealing. And when they tried to stop the car, it fled from them at a very high rate of speed. They ended up letting it go east on 64. So these flock cameras have really been a successful program for us, and it's not just us. This is a kind of an interconnected process that we're sharing data with other cities as well. So it has worked out really well. Alderman Lockmiller, you asked us about the Blue City designation. I just wanted to update you. I have no update. The state continues to tell us, we'll let you know when we're ready. They're not ready. Body-worn camera update and the in-car camera system, we're rolling on that, approved by the board as a capital item project for 2025. Right now, we are onboarding the system in April. The officers will be trained the first week of April. There is a pretty complicated process of putting this into our CAD system, and Regis and our IT side is going to help us with that. A guess, and this is just a guess at this point, I would say end May by the time we train and get this on board. We're hoping by the end of May that the system will be up and running. We talked about the electric vehicle purchase that was made. When we bought the electric vehicle, we were given a 6 to 8 week lead time on the car to be delivered. We're at the 4-week mark. I don't have any updates, but we're hoping that it's still within that 6 to 8 weeks. We haven't heard anything different than that. So hopefully, maybe the end of March, early April, we'll be having that car taken and outfitted and go from there with that vehicle. It'd be kind of fun to watch and see how it performs and see what, how the drain of the vehicle, so to speak, is on that car. So the last thing I was going to mention in my report was I requested that the command staff and the police department look at a better way to train the police department on what we are calling tactical medical training. So I'm going to ask Lieutenant Josh Bowersox to come up. He's the one that was tasked and volunteered to do this for us. So I'd also, before I walk away though, I would like to really thank our fire department. That's where the expertise lies in this, obviously with our paramedics, and they're really good at what they do. So the idea here was to go to the experts and see if we can share their knowledge, and Josh is going to explain to you what they're going to try and accomplish.
Evening, Lieutenant Bowersox. So my role at the department, one of the roles is the training coordinator. So I'll work with the chief and the majors, just find ways to make our officers better and more prepared for calls they may run into. And one area we think we're maybe lacking a little bit, especially in police training, is the medical side. So we were talking about ways to try and increase the knowledge and skill of our officers in that way. We reached out to the fire department, and they have agreed to work with us over the next few months to increase the medical training for our officers. Just some of the things that we're going to go over in the training, just simple things like identifying a stroke victim, heart attacks, maybe someone who is low on sugar, who's diabetic, those signs that our officers can pick up on. They can also let dispatch know, and that'll help let the fire officers know when they're responding to the scene, give that information more than just someone who's maybe not feeling well. They can give the paramedics some extra information. Then we're going to talk about CPR, Heimlich maneuver, and then jump to maybe some of the more life-saving training, application of tourniquets, chest seals for stab wounds and gunshot wounds, those sort of things. And we're going to do that in March and April, and then hopefully we're going to wrap it up. I know the chief's probably talked about our officer safety training. I'm going to put together some training scenarios that will focus on those medical calls. I'm going to invite the fire department to those. We'll run the officers through scenarios. They don't know what they're going to get. They may get something simple as a heart attack. They may get something that's a gunshot wound that they're going to have to triage, treat, and then let the fire department know on the radio what they have and what they've done. So hopefully in the next few months, our guys will be trained and ready to go on that.
Again, the nice part about that is that there's no cost to the training other than the time spent by our fire department to help us. So anybody have any questions? Be happy to answer regarding anything over this.
That sounds like a great program. Other than that comment, I don't have any questions.
No.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Item B on the agenda is the fire department.
Good evening, and thank you for this opportunity. Before I get started on the fire department update, just echo what Chief Spees had to say there. The partnership that the fire and police share is second to none, and this city is very fortunate to have that. Our personnel work very well together, so it makes my job as fire chief easier, and I believe Chief Spees as well. So thank you to him for starting that. I'll be brief on the fire department update because I want to get to a presentation just to highlight some activities in the fire department. We currently have 2 openings in the department, and we are doing a hiring process right now. Testing occurred last week, and then next week we will do interviews and 1 additional test. We are trying to speed our process up compared to prior years because the market continues to be in the applicant's favor, and they are snatching up jobs quick. So as you recall, last year's process in 2024, all but 2 applicants received job offers before we were even